Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be talking about Windows NT version 3.1. So, this is a little bit of complication. There's a little bit of complication. I have made a mistake in my previous video. I said that Windows 95 was the first 32-bit Windows. That was wrong. It's actually this. Microsoft Windows NT 3.1, which released in 1993, 1 year after Windows 3.1. So the difference between this and 3.1 is it might look the same, the UI may look the same, but actually it's completely different under the hood. You see, Microsoft Windows started as a graphical shell for MS-DOS, like Windows 1, 2, and the 3 series. Those were all 16-bit, and they were not separate operating systems. You needed to have MS-DOS on your computer first to install Windows. Then, Microsoft, after the release of Windows 3.1, decided to make two different kernels, basically. One is the 9X kernel, and the other, the NT kernel. If you're on Windows right now, you are currently running the NT kernel. That's because Microsoft discontinued the 9X kernel after Windows ME or Millennium Edition. And the reason why the NT series isn't talked about very much is because the NT series was more for businesses and professional use at the time, while the 9X series was geared more towards consumer experience and basically if you were at home. The NT kernel was more for businesses, so that's why a lot of people don't really talk about this, and I almost forgot about it myself until I got reminded of it. So today we're going to be taking a look at this. So this is a pre-built VDI file. So it's gonna have some weird name, I guess, but because I couldn't get the ISO to install properly and get detected by VirtualBox, so yeah. So actually, this was the first Windows operating system that was 32-bit, and that wasn't based on MS-DOS. The 9X kernel was based on MS-DOS and was kind of dependent on it. The NT kernel was not based on MS-DOS and had a completely different thing. So while it might look the same as Windows 3.1, it's not. Anyways, let's look at some of the apps, I guess. So we have File Manager, Control Panel, you know, the basic simple stuff, of course. Print Manager. You don't have a printer. Clipbook Viewer. You have the command prompt. Windows NT Setup, which tells you again about your computer. We have the README, introducing Windows NT. We'll look at that later. PIF editor, mail. We have mail, but I'm not gonna connect it because also it wouldn't even connect because again we don't have a modem or anything. Schedule Plus, Windows NT Help. We're gonna click on introducing Windows NT. Introducing Windows NT. This introduction demonstrates how to use the built-in networking, security, and workup features of Windows NT to make your job easier. Let's click continue. Press spacebar to pause. Okay. So yeah, it's basically just like a. I don't think it's really like an. You can't consider it an out-of-box experience. Maybe you can. I don't really know. More like a introduction, I guess, like a tutorial, basically. You must log on. So yeah, it's basically just going to tell you like how to do all these things, like logging onto Windows NT, connecting to other computers, sharing files on a network, creating user accounts, setting file permissions, connecting to a printer, using Clipbook over the network, and communicating with other users. We're going to exit out of that. So yeah, there's that. We're going to close out of that. We have accessories, yeah, calculator, card file, clock, notepad, paintbrush, CD player, media player, volume control, sound recorder, character map, terminal, write, and object packager. So yeah, that's cool. We have an administrative tools that wasn't there before. I don't think in Windows 3.1 user manager. Okay, disk administrator. Oh, so that's basically the disk manager basically, so you can see the disk and how much of, so the C drive and what is taking up, how much storage, I guess, and the partitions of it, yeah. So the performance monitor, uh, maybe it's supposed to, I think it's backup. What's this? Tape device attached. Make sure. Okay, well, I don't have a tape driver, and even if I did, I don't have a tape at all. Event viewer. So we'll close out of these administrative tools. Of course, we have games, solitaire, Minesweeper, FreeCell. We're gonna open up Minesweeper. Of course, play a little game. We'll close out of that. Startup. Of course, we have no apps in there because no apps have been set to startup. And you have applications, Microsoft QBasic. So yeah, we'll just exit out of this. Yeah. The aspect ratio changed for some reason. I don't know why. Program Manager. Yeah, so this is Windows NT Program Manager version 3.1, 1993. Yep. So yeah, that's basically it. I just wanted to talk about it and um, the differences between the NT kernel and the 9X kernel. And eventually, again, Microsoft abandoned the 9X kernel because the NT kernel was just faster and better. And again, wasn't dependent on MS-DOS like the 9X kernel was. In the next video, we'll probably talk about Windows 98. So, I'll see you guys in the next video. Subscribe.